All right, so now that we know all about calculations and getting our spreadsheet to do calculations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division for us, let's go back to our budget and let's look at how we can apply what we've just learned, okay? Well, we've just learned that we can actually get the spreadsheet to do the math for us, which is awesome because I don't want to have to do 5 times $650 in my head, okay? So what are we going to do here? Well, let's start by just writing the calculation that will solve this for us. So what do I have to type first? I have to type the equal sign, right? And then what are you going to do now? Are you tempted to write 5 times 650? Okay, you might be tempted to do that. And if I hit enter, that certainly will give us the correct answer, okay? Why don't I go ahead and while I'm here, I'm going to reformat this to be currency format. How do I do that? I've selected the entire column and I'm just going to click this number format currency button right up here. Okay, so I've done that and that calculation technically is correct, but what happens if I decide to change this? What happens if I decide, oh, we have to spend an extra day in the studio? I could change this to 6, but then it doesn't change this number over here. I'd have to go in here and manually edit that. And that's kind of useless, right? Like that's the whole point of getting the spreadsheet to do the work is so that we can really minimize the number of edits that we have to make here if we want to change some of these numbers. And so again, this is where your imagination is an essential part of being able to use spreadsheets efficiently and appropriately, right? You need to think ahead to like, what might I want to do with this? Likewise, what if I found a cheaper studio, or what if I decided to go to a more expensive studio? I won't want to change these numbers. So even though this gives us the right answer, okay, it's not really going to be the most efficient way to do this. And this is where, I'm going to delete this right now, this is where we can think about using calculations in combination with what we know about identifying cell names, okay? So, identifying individual cells. Watch what I mean here. I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm going to start by, as if I'm going to write a calculation. I'm going to start by putting that equal sign in there. But now instead of actually typing the number 5, what do you think would happen if instead I told the spreadsheet, hey, I'm going to not give you the number 5. Instead, I'm going to give you the name of a cell, and I want you to look up what's in that cell and then do the multiplication on that. See what we're doing there? We're getting the spreadsheet to do the work, okay? So always think ahead and think about how can I get the spreadsheet to do the work. In this case, what's the name of the cell that contains this number 5 right here? Remember your battleship? Right, it's called B4. B4. So I'm going to go ahead and type in B4, okay? Trust me, this is going to work. Now, just as if I'm doing a regular calculation, I'm going to do Shift 8 to give us that asterisk or the star symbol right there. And now what do I have to do? Well, I'm not going to type out $650 because remember, that could change, okay? Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell the spreadsheet, hey, go get the value, go get the number amount or the number that's inside, that's stored inside that C4 cell right there. So I'm going to type C4, okay? And the nice thing about this is that you don't have to worry about whether it's uppercase or lowercase. When you're typing it in, you just type it in the way that's convenient for you, okay? So look at what we've done here. We've just written our first formula. I bet you didn't even realize that, but yes, we've just written our first formula. I love to call these like magic recipes that you can build to make your spreadsheet do all the grunt work for you. So we've just written our first formula, and when I hit return, what do you think is going to happen? Yeah, the spreadsheet's going to do this calculation for us. It's going to go in, get those values, and do the calculation. So I'm going to go ahead and hit return. And sure enough, it came up with the same number, 3250. Okay, we know that's correct from before. But look what we can do now. If I change this to 4 days, and then I hit enter, look, it automatically updated that. And I didn't have to do any other edits. And that's because we wrote an awesome formula. Okay, I'm going to change that back to 5, back up to there. Congratulations, you just wrote your first formula, and that wasn't too hard, was it? No, because you know how to do multiplication calculations, all right? And you know how to identify individual cells. And so all you did was you just replace those numbers with the cell names. And here's our formula right up here. We can read it in the input line, equals B4 times C4. Here's the answer right there. Boom. Oh, that is so awesome. Okay. I want you to practice that. But I think you've already got the hang of it. That's terrific. And the next screencast, I'm going to show you some tricks to make that even easier and faster to input, as well as I'm going to show you some really cool tricks on how to repeat the same calculation over and over again without having to type anything at all, which is really, really cool. So I will see you in that next screencast.